Last night, the triumphant return of the product herself, Angel Reese.
Chicago Sky have had an extremely disappointing 2025 season. I'm telling you right now, it was horrible.
That was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen.
Chicago Sky fans destroyed Angel Reese live on television. Horrifying video. In real time, Angel Reese was tormented by her own Chicago Sky supporters, living out every athlete's greatest nightmare. Her triumphant return should have been celebrated, but instead, the crowd roared louder than the nearly 3,000 empty seats. There was nothing missed by the cameras, and the uneasy atmosphere that transformed a routine game into a vicious, viral phenomenon.
The reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. Like, it's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game.
And Angel Reese will be plagued by this moment for a very long time. The WNBA heard about the press conference. A reporter poses a straightforward, reasonable query. Do you still maintain your claim from the previous year that you are the reason why people watch women's basketball?
Welcome back, Reese. So pretty.
Caitlin Clark comes in and is immediately the biggest star in the league. Immediately. And merchandising in every other way.
And rather than taking responsibility for it, doubling down, or even providing an explanation, she uses two brief words that cause a stir on social media. The next query, that's all, just a chilly dodge with no numbers, defense, or energy. The room went cold. After fans snipped it and reporters gawked, it quickly spread over the world. Fans on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter are giggling rather than applauding. A greater story was conveyed by just two words than by any highlight. Real.
So, Angel, of course, so happy to be back, and she was welcomed back by so many fans. Oh, dearly beloved.
Yeah, obviously, like I said, they understand that this is the priority. Obviously, there's no place for this, and they preach. I think 2 days before they put out no hate, no speech.
And this is the reason it's so popular. It wasn't just any reporter causing issues. This was a comment that Angel Reese herself recalled from 2024. In the midst of a fierce competition with Caitlin Clark following LSU's championship run, she boldly said to the world, "People watch women's basketball because of me too." It created headlines, was audacious, and was loud. She presented herself as the reason the sport as a whole was flourishing, in addition to being a fantastic player. It's the type of sentence that endures. Additionally, the receipts will be payable when you mention something that significant.
The official attendance, wow.
But here's the issue though. You had better have statistics to support your claims when you use Caitlin Clark's name. Additionally, Ree isn't helped by the numbers. Approximately 8,000 people attended Chicago Sky home games on average last year. Every Indiana Fever game featuring Clark, meanwhile, was sold out. Night after night, more than 17,000 people flocked to Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Furthermore, it doesn't end there.
6,373 fans showed up last night.
This preseason, Reese returned to her former haunt LSU, where she established her reputation and took home a championship. There should have been a lot of hype. Rather, a venue that can accommodate almost 13,000 people was less than half filled, with only 6,000 fans present. Star power is not what that is. It serves as a wake-up call. All eyes were on her when the reporter questioned if she still thought she was a big draw. This was her opportunity to remind everyone why she had said it in the first place. She passed, though, rather than seizing the opportunity. The next query.
I think the WNBA and our team and our organization has done a great job supporting me. I've had communication from everyone, from so many people across this league, and being able to support me and going through this whole process. Obviously, it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone.
And the floodgates were opened by that one evasion. Because it validated what people were already speculating, press conference clips went viral. Perhaps the numbers don't match the hoopla. The Chicago Sky supporters were disappointed rather than outraged. They seemed to be saying, show more, talk less. Many of Angel Reese's admirers are demonstrating that they are not basketball fanatics. This does not imply that Ree lacks talent. She is vivacious, a competitor, and a champion. However, the audience will evaluate you on more than simply points and rebounds when you make such bold statements. They will examine TV ratings, ticket sales, and jersey sales. Additionally, Clark was setting records in every area this season.
Is this a championship team? This is a team who makes every game a home game. We talked about the t-shirt that they are currently selling on the Indiana Fever's team store.
In 45 minutes, she will sell out arenas with 15,000 seats. In 2024, her jersey sold the second most copies in the whole basketball industry, right after Steph Curry's. This season, 41 of the Fever's 44 games will be broadcast nationally. Compared to certain NBA teams, that is more exposure. Because of her, the league is actually relocating games to larger venues. Words are not necessary for that type of star power.
So you know the basketball superstar Caitlin Clark. She is in the Women's National Basketball Association. Big star, huge star, brilliant player. Okay, she's on the Indiana team.
And for that reason, it hurts even more when Reese asks the next question. It went beyond simply refusing to respond. It brought attention to the discrepancy between language and behavior. Despite the empty seats, fans wanted to applaud her. Confidence. They are listening to audacious claims that lack supporting data. Additionally, every dodge appears larger than it actually is when the top competitor in your sport is attracting celebrities, multi-million-dollar TV deals, and record-breaking attention.
Taking the high road or trying to say the right things in these interviews, she doesn't. Whether she's saying what's on her mind or not, it doesn't always come across as likable. It doesn't come across as something relatable. It comes across as she is trying to also get that same spotlight, that same notoriety as Caitlin Clark.
This press conference went awry for that reason. The question was not that. It wasn't even the solution. That's what the response revealed. The audacious assertion from 2024 that people watch because of me too is now being compared to sold out. Merchandise, crowded venues, and nationwide publicity that is all going to someone else. Fans of the Chicago Sky are not mean. All they want is outcomes. They want to think that their team's face is more than just a catchphrase. Additionally, it seems as though some trust is lost when they witness a player sidestep the very discussion she initiated.
Apparently, there's some jealousy that might be manifesting itself into physical, inappropriate conduct.
This was more than just a viral video. It marked a sea change. The requirement for fuel was indicated by 2 words. Additionally, the engine's running light is on right now. The issue is evident to Reese. It's no longer just about talking, it's about demonstrating. And that next question moment will keep coming up until the seats are full and the cameras follow, reminding everyone that while words are simple, numbers are unflinching.
You got people that are resentful towards her, but it's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents.
However, when you examine game-to-game stats, the discrepancies become even more noticeable. Minnesota Lynx versus Chicago Sky. Only 4,600 people came to Chicago. A smaller market, Minnesota, drew $7,600. For a typical game, that's 1,000 extra seats in a smaller city. These are not a player's numbers that are changing the culture. These are the figures you scroll by on the ticker on a Tuesday night in February. Additionally, for a player who once remarked, "I am also the reason why people watch women's basketball." Those figures are more powerful than any derogatory remarks.
Quote, I don't know if we can make that same offer.
Caitlin Clark, however, is competing in what seems like a whole different level. Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa. In 45 minutes, 15,000 seats were gone. Basketball isn't like that. Beatlemania is that. The excitement didn't just follow when Clark joined the WNBA. It erupted. Fever games are not viewed as matches, but rather as happenings.
The girl is spectacular. It's not like she's not a scrub. She's not only can play, she's a star caliber player who draws this attention. And maybe it's because that fan base that she has and her being a young white lady contributes to it. So what?
Her jersey sales are surpassing those of nearly everyone, with Steph Curry coming in second. Indeed, Stephen Curry. For a rookie, Clark's name is more well-known than NBA All-Stars and legends when it comes to merchandise. The media has also taken note. This season, 41 of the 44 Fever games will air nationally. 93% of the population is covered. Some years, the Lakers receive less than that. Let's also discuss money. Tickets for the preseason cost $600 each. NBA-level pricing for a league that often doesn't look at those figures. Clark is subtly changing the sports business side as Angel Reese sidesteps inquiries.
Ice Cube's literally saying, we sat down, looked at the actual figures, and the draw wasn't there. the fever wasn't there. Oh, no pun intended. Angel Reese was not going to be able to bring in the amount of eyes for the sponsors and...
The social media spin is where things get even more complicated because someone usually attempts to reroute the topic when there are no seats available and the numbers don't add up. Reese's mother joined the fray in this instance by tweeting, "Some fans celebrate attendance. Banners are something we celebrate. Ignore the fans. Examine the hardware."
Wow, I'm not sure any other single, outside of just the pure numbers that we keep showing people, literal numbers.
However, it isn't how sports operate nowadays. The desire of fans is to experience something. The energy is what they desire. They wish to think they are witnessing history. They converse and rapidly meme when the data indicates the opposite. Additionally, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter did not hold back. Supporters responded with statistics, screenshots, and side-by-side images of Chicago's half-empty arenas contrasted with Clark's crowded ones. Reese's next question was compared on memes to someone leaving a party without showing up. It wasn't limited to rival supporters either. Even Chicago Sky supporters were impatient and wanted a cause to support, such as Energy Wins. The problem is that Chicago Sky supporters aren't bad people. Angel Reese is not hated by them. All they want is for the output to match the hype. They want to believe that they are supporting a celebrity who is making waves rather than one who is skirting her own bounds.
What should have been a massive, huge day for your sponsors and for your networks is going to be anything but that.
And for all the commotion, the reality is glaring back at her, which is why these numbers hurt so much. A fan base waits for more than platitudes, empty seats, and silent arenas. The scoreboard in the stands is Reese's greatest critic, while Clark is making every stadium the subject of headlines. Okay, let's get started right away. And since this is when the story really takes off, I'm going to make it as lively and conversational as I can. After discussing statistics and the chaos on social media, it's time to take a closer look at why one franchise is doing so well while the other is in a rut. And believe me, there is a severe difference between the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever.
Sponsors assured him Clark coming to his organization would rake in cash hand over fist. But, quote, they didn't tell us the same thing about Angel Reese.
First, let's talk about Indiana. These individuals didn't simply pick Caitlin Clark and cross their fingers. Instead, they went full chess master and opened the playbook. They introduced Dana Bonner, Natasha Howard, and Sophie Cunningham. Players who raise a roster rather than merely fill it. We're not just building a team, we're building a movement, as Indiana put it. Around Clark, every sign seems deliberate, as if the parts are fitting together perfectly.
Okay, because she's brilliant. Right? That's why she's wreaking havoc. Because she is so good.
And it's evident. Take in their play. Caitlin isn't the only one doing this. Chemistry is involved. It's a matter of space. It's a vision. Everyone gains from the ecosystem they created, which allows Clark to flourish. She is being compared to Diana Taurasi by her teammates, but with a twist. One commented, flashier, more dangerous, and sexier. To be honest, they are correct. There's a unique energy in Clark's game. When she has the ball, you can feel the floor tilt.
We have grown-ass men and women out here doing whatever they can to try to make sure that does not happen. That is the weirdest thing in the world, but it is what it is, and I'm glad that Caitlin has a great head on her shoulders.
The front office in Indiana didn't end there. In addition to treating Clark like the franchise player she is, they have heavily promoted her. Every game is a home game has become more than just a catchphrase. It's a sense of self. Arenas are being sold out. Major arena moves are being started. Facilities are being expanded, and fans are being given the impression that they are a part of something more than basketball. It's the process of making a novice into a star.
I'm not sure anything's been more evidence to what we've been saying.
Compare it to Chicago now. Angel Reese was drafted by the Sky, and while she is obviously gifted, the atmosphere is very different. Both the plan and the job are unclear. Instead of making headlines, it seems like a team is responding to them. On the court and in the stands, there has been a revolving door of uncertainty rather than a development around Reese. This is the true lesson. Being the draw isn't necessarily true just because you talk about it. People watch women's basketball. Because of me too, Angel Reese famously remarked. The receipts, however, provide a different account. Caitlin Clark, meantime, doesn't need to speak. Her national TV coverage, her attendance figures, and her jersey sales speak for themselves. To receive more information on the 2025 WNBA season, like this video and subscribe to the channel.